Hello, Keysor families. This is Brian Painter. If you're watching this presentation, you probably have a rising first grader, but it's possible you're just an interested parent. Regardless, I just wanted to share some information about our new first grade classrooms that we expect to be constructed at Keysor over the next several weeks. As you're probably aware, we've had continued enrollment growth at Keysor and really across the Kirkwood School District. We have grown considerably, about 14% or so in the last 3 years. And some of this was expected, but quite honestly, it is not this much. We've grown beyond what we expected to be at this point. And we're thrilled that people are happy to live in Kirkwood and attend Keysor. But it is something we're having to really do some creative thinking around. One thing I'd like to point out is most of this growth is local. Our VTS enrollment has declined significantly in recent years, and only 10 of our new students last year actually came to us from Riverview Gardens. But what we're looking at next year with a projected enrollment of 523 students, there's 5 sections of 2 of our grades. We used to have 3 or 4 sections of everything, and now we're going to have 4 sections of 1st, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and 5 sections of 2nd grade, and almost certainly 5 sections of kindergarten. That's a growth of 2 sections just over last year and 3 over 2 years ago, and every section requires a space. And so that's what we're really having to brainstorm and problem solve around because we want everyone to have the best learning space that they can at Keysor, but we also know that we have limitations. So last year, if you were a kindergartner and in the 2013-14 school year, you know that these are where our classrooms were, and this was on the 1st floor. Just for the point of reference, here's the office, and here is our library center. Next year, what we're going to do, our first grade, for various reasons, but our first grade is going to be located down on the lower floor. And so for point of reference, here's the cafeteria, here's the gymnasium, and here's the art room. Ms. Pieterburgo, who's new to us this year, will be a first grade teacher in this classroom here. Mr. Capizzi will be right over here. And then down the hall, we'll have Ms. Jameson and Ms. Jansen in 2 classrooms that are being constructed, we expect, in what used to be a district storage space. Now I say we expect because the board is actually meeting tonight on July 7th to make some decisions. They're reviewing bids, and we hope they will be approving a contract so that they can begin construction as early as this week with the plan to have everything ready for the fall and the start of school. Now, this is kind of hard to look at and go, well, how can we make this a classroom? So let's look a little bit closer. As you can see, we really are making these classrooms. We've been working with the architects for the last 4 or 5 weeks or so and trying to figure out how we can make the best use of this space, knowing that we do have a few limitations. Let's look a little bit closer. You will notice that these classrooms will look very, very similar to what we had last year and the classrooms that are right above them actually in our new wing. There will be a few differences though. We will have sinks and we will have the active board. The tile is going to look very similar. The painting on the wall is going to look very similar. The drywall and everything will be very similar to what you had in your kindergarten classrooms before. One noticeable difference obviously is there's not going to be a window that will go outside, and that is a disappointment to us, but to be honest with you, it was just too cost prohibitive because of the structural nature of these walls as a lower level walls that are supporting the entire wing. And so what we did, we tried to be creative as possible again. They're adding 2 new doors in the middle of these classrooms. They'll be very close to each other, and that's something we asked for. But where those doors used to be, the door cavities will be right here and right here. We are putting windows out into the hallway, which is the best we can do. Now, I will say this. The teachers who are going to be in this classroom, Ms. Jansen and Ms. Jameson, number 1, their teaching philosophies are very similar, and number 2, they love being outside with their kids, and they are in close proximity, very close proximity to outside, and so that's a great thing. I do not think that our children will really suffer from not having windows here because they're going to be outside quite a bit, and so that's a good thing as well. One of the things that we've done is that we'll have raised ceiling in about 80% of the classroom. It will be a 9-foot drop ceiling for most of it, and so they are working to raise some of the things that are like the HVAC, that sort of thing, in this classroom space so that it feels a little bit higher, the ceiling feels higher and it feels like a bigger room. And then also we've added a mobile wall that will allow some flexibility for these teachers, again, because their philosophies are very similar. If they choose to do some things where the students may go back and forth or have some shared spaces, then this wall could be open at times. And when it is open, it'll just tuck right back in here. And when it's not, it'll just be closed, and it will be soundproof, quite honestly. And so we're very excited about that. To be honest with you, in our new wing that was built a couple of years ago, we would have put these mobile walls in as many places as we could because the flexibility is so important to us going forward. But at the time, it was just too cost prohibitive to do that in all of these classrooms. So those are our classrooms. Ms. Jameson's class will be here. Ms. Jansen's class will be here. I'm sure you will have some questions, and feel free to ask. But we did want to give you an update and let you know that the board is meeting tonight, and we expect some progress as early as this week. So we're excited about the classroom spaces. We know it's different, but we hope that you trust us and know that these teachers are going to do everything they can to make sure that the children in these learning spaces have a terrific first grade year. Thanks so much. Have a good day.